Greetings, everyone. This is Arletta Lightseed, and I am so excited. It's been a very long time since I've done a video, and so I'm really happy to be back on camera because I miss y'all. But today I am going to share with you why I am so absolutely thrilled with Destiny cards, and I'm just going to share with you personally my own reading with Destiny cards, and I can show you how that changed my life. And because it was so impactful for me, I'm really excited to offer this as one of my new services to you all. So here we go. Now, as far as how Destiny cards work, everyone has a birth card and a planetary ruling card. And so my birth card is a 5 of clubs. And what's interesting about the Destiny cards is even within each of the cards, the number 5, of course, has a certain significance and meaning. And clubs has a certain significance and meaning. So as far as 5s are concerned, 5 is one of the most important of all numbers because it's considered the number of man. And 5 is also the number of adventure and seeking new experiences in the realm of reality. And so as a 5, we 5s constantly seek to expand ourselves and discover what else lies beyond the security of home. And so our theme, as far as all the 5s are concerned, is that we're constantly exploring different experiences and we're constantly seeking different forms of expression. And the 5 actually goes to an extreme when it comes to new experiences. We're willing to take the risk, we're willing to endure hardships, all in the name of adventure. And pretty much the whole point is we just like gathering new experiences. We like to do things just for the hell of doing them and seeing what happens. And we like new experiences as far as ideas, relationships, and value systems. So we have this insatiable thirst. We're constantly seeking what's out there on the horizon. And so as a consequence, we do better with occupations that afford travel and variety. And we like to be always exposed to entirely different situations, new situations and experiences, because we really have this driving need to understand, and that causes us to constantly seek new and different things. The flip side of being a 5 is that we experience a great deal of discontentment and restlessness. We often feel we don't have a real home, and freedom is our most important word in our vocabulary. If anything seeks to hamper our freedom, we'll usually rebel or we'll leave. Commitments and personal relationships often seem to 5s as a hamper to our freedom as well. And thus we're the least marriageable cards in the deck. Some 5s do get married, but the usual expression of a 5 is we always want to keep our options open. For a 5 to accept who we really are, we really have to be happy, we really have to accept who we really are. And with our life path, as we go from job to job, to relationship, from living situation to living situation, it's something that our society does not consider responsible, adult, or honorable. And so as a result, because of us following our natural inclinations, we take on a sense of shame, we start to feel insecure, and we really start hating ourselves, or at least I have had that experience, and I think a lot of other 5s probably can attest to that, just for being who we really are and following our natural inclinations. At the same time, as a 5, we still do have an urge for financial security and also romantic security. And so our natural inclination kind of conflicts with this desire as well. And so we have to find a middle ground that works for us. So like the happiest 5 are those who claim their birthright, our need and thirst for adventure, our total absolute obsession with being free, and the resulting avoiding many different types of commitments. And 5 is also, in its highest expression, is a number of wisdom. And for us, 5's wisdom comes through our direct experience. And if you're talking to a 5, like myself, you're talking to someone who more than likely has been there and done that. So that's just 5 in general. That doesn't describe my 5 of clubs in particular. But when I tell you, when I first read this description, I was like, oh my God, because I had this persona, an idea of myself that I had taken on because it was what was expected of me from my parents, expected of me from society, from my religion, so on and so forth. And I have this real me, the real me, my natural inclinations, the things that motivated me to do the things that I did, that directed my thoughts, that drove my passion, that fueled me. And they were always at conflict and always at war. And so I made myself wrong for being what a 5 is. And it had gotten to the point in my adult life where I became so ashamed of my seeming inability to actually become established in a career, to my always at the back of my mind in a relationship. Oh my God, do I really want to commit to this person? Because who knows who I'll meet next. And my constant thirst for knowledge, my constant thirst for new experiences, my natural adventurous spirit, my being a gypsy by nature and not ever wanting to settle down. And this being my driving force, being also as a result made me something that was not admirable in our society and culture. It made me appear irresponsible. It made me appear lazy. It made me appear a lot of things. So when I read this and it was in the cards, I was able for the first time to accept and acknowledge who I am and how I am, but also to see it for its strengths and to see it for its weaknesses so I could plan my life accordingly. And so, as we'll see as I read my description of the 5 of clubs in particular, there's some specific ways we can tweak our natural inclinations, but they'll work for us and give us everything that we want. So it's all right that I'm 41 years old. I've been married once. I don't necessarily have a desire to be married again, even though I do not mind being in a committed relationship. Relationship experiences for me are experiences. I've been with some amazing and wonderful men, and each of them were very different, very distinct. And the underlying motivating factor for this person, along with just the initial attraction, was, that'll be interesting. It's like whenever I do something, the whole point is that looks interesting. And my constant obsession with being free, period, across the board, I can respect that as well. So anyway, let's see what exactly is the 5 of clubs, because for each card in the deck, of course, you have one of each suit. And so for me, I'm the 5 of clubs. So this description of 5 of clubs person, the 5 of clubs means changes and restlessness of the mind. We find these people have a lot of curiosity that keeps them almost constantly on the move. Our 5 of hearts karma card tells us that we also have many changes in our romantic life as well. And for this reason, we are not well suited for marriage. As a matter of fact, when you look at the destiny cards, and Robert Lee Kemp's destiny cards in particular, he has a whole marriageability index. And the 5 of clubs is the least marriageable card in the deck. And when I read that, that kind of gave me a sense of relief, because I was like, okay, I might be crazy, but I'm aligned with my cards. And so it's all right as far as my perspective on marriage and how that relates to me personally. We are basically adventurous and we want to do exploring and research. And we also associate commitment. Things and people associated with commitment are avoided like the plague. And that's another thing when I think about why I don't want children. It's not that I don't love children. I've always loved children. But whenever the thought of me having a child myself personally, it's always seemed like I'm being closed in and confined into this little box that I can't escape. And that's always been my automatic response to it. And for a very long time, I even made myself wrong for that. But I'm all right. It's all right. I'm a 5 of clubs. I'm being very aligned with who I really am. So this makes us nomadic and changeable to the extreme in some cases. The 5 of clubs is the most restless card of all. They're very flexible. We move to new homes. We change lifestyles. And Though we do these things, they also entail many responsibilities and challenges. And so we also have a 5 of diamonds in my life path, which is a Saturn. Our Ace of Spades and Venus speaks of secret love affairs and indecision about which to choose. And oh my goodness, that is very much so me. The 7 of Diamonds is in Jupiter is a millionaire's card, and many 5 of Clubs have lots of money, though they often spend it or lose it as fast as they get it. So for us, speculation and gambling should be avoided, which fortunately I don't do. Actually, I may do speculating, but I don't gamble. Though we are luckier than most, our tendency to spend makes them bad at what gamblers call money management, what's essentially known when to quit. We are wonderful in sales and promotion because we can relate to so many people on their own level. And I thought maybe that was just a Libra trait, but that's also a trait for me as far as my cards. So the Virgo and Gemini birthdays also have a very powerful voice or way of expressing themselves that can bring great success in sales or promotion. Our natural curiosity brings us much knowledge, but we do not apply it. And we do not stick to any one train of thought. So this tends to make us skeptical, not even getting satisfaction from our own self-created beliefs and structures. So yes, we can do that as well. Often a 5 of Clubs will take the opposite side of an argument just so they are not tied down to one concept. And we have an interest in spiritual studies, bring more satisfaction in our later years. So as far as relationships, being a 5 of Clubs can be a blessing or a curse. On the high side, we are progressive and can relate to anyone on their level, which is very true. This makes us very well liked and sociable. On the other hand, our fear of commitment can be so great that we attract the most unusual situations and can never have the peace of a deep connection. And that's in my cards, but it's also been some other things that has resulted in that experience in my life. So once again, like I said, when I read this, my whole life opened up and I was like, oh my God, I see myself reflecting on the page. The 5 of Clubs is considered to be one of the most unmarriageable cards in the deck. In one way or another, most of them avoid commitment as much as possible. And that is true. Just being honest, that is true. If we are cunning, we will make it appear as though the reason we're not making commitments is our partner's fault. No, I don't do that. But in truth, we're deeply afraid that any relationship may deprive us of our freedom. And yes, I remember when I was a kid, and just the thought of actually being in a committed relationship was terrifying for me. And I'm sure the other cards definitely have this as well, but I think maybe it was to an extreme with me, and that's definitely explained in my cards. Because of our avoidance of commitment and our Ace of Spades and Venus, we're often attracted to married people or have secret affairs. I'm not attracted to married people. Secret affairs, I don't know if they're secret as they're not likely to be necessarily very long term. And so there's no real sense of commitment to it. And so I don't necessarily go and broadcast it to the world. We also like to keep our private lives to ourselves, which is true. The single life is away from most 5 of Clubs, but there are those exceptional ones who settle down and make contributions in love and work. So, who knows? Who knows if I choose to settle down? 5 of Clubs of both sexes often make friends with heart males who have a fondness for them. However, there's a karmic bond between them that can be difficult at times. Club females often enjoy the company of 5 of Clubs of both sexes, and 5 of Clubs women can make a good marriage with certain diamond males and are usually attracted to certain spade males. Okay? So, this is an example that gave me a really good blueprint for how I could kind of organize the rest of my life. And this example of a guy, he's a 5 of Clubs. And he has the positive 5 of Club traits because most 5 of Clubs are not very happy with themselves. And that's been very true of me for the majority of my adult life. We complain about never having accomplished something in marriage and are constantly worried about money. But this guy, Bruce, is a person who appears to have fully accepted his restless and inquisitive nature and has integrated that into his life in a positive way. At 41 years old, which is funny, I just turned 41, he's never married and he travels a great deal. He has had some financial success in his life, and for years he didn't need to work. Remember that the 7 of Diamonds in Jupiter and the life path of 5 of Clubs. It often brings a great deal of money in the life of a 5 of Clubs, and in Bruce's case, it gave him a natural sense of abundance and prosperity. So he's gone through periods in his life where he's moved to a new house 2 or 3 times a year. And if I did that, that wouldn't be weird to me. He seems to be constantly on the move and appears to have many places he calls home. He knows a lot about many subjects and makes many friends wherever he goes. He doesn't mind having a committed relationship in his life, which I don't actually do enjoy that. But he's okay with casual relationships, which is unusual since most people cannot emotionally handle that kind of relationship. And it's interesting, but most of my relationships have been casual, almost a casual commitment, if that makes any sense. In other words, it'll be a casual long-term relationship. Bruce takes great pride in his car. It makes sense his car be so prominent in his value system because it represents freedom. This is a trait of many Five of Clubs. He represents a happy side of the Five of Clubs. He's someone who has accepted his nature, made the best of it. You won't find many Five of Clubs who are this happy, but they're out there. Most of them are dissatisfied with their life and cannot seem to resolve the conflict between their freedom and having some sort of foundation in their life. And the happiest of the Five of Clubs are those who realize they're here to collect experiences and ideas and allow themselves the freedom to do just that. At the same time, they have faith that their needs will be provided as is necessary. The ones who do this usually get more than just their basic needs. Their 7 and Diamonds and Jupiter card of true spiritual and material abundance, and this is the birthright of the Five of Clubs. So pretty much, after I got this reading, I was able to see that in order for me to allow myself the freedom to live the kind of life that is my innate, natural, automatic tendency to do, but at the same time establish the things that I want, I have to find a happy medium. And so that means choosing a job or a career that allowed me freedom and variety and adventure, allowed me to travel to different places, to interact with a lot of different types of people and have a lot of different types of experiences, and also to focus on something for long enough, or commit to something for long enough where I could get established in that, as far as financial establishment and stuff is concerned. Because for me, up to this point, that has been my big challenge. And now that I know, according to the cards, what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses, I can deal with myself accordingly. And the other cool thing is that the Ace in Venus, which is my planetary results card and also my Venus card, says that it gives you a very sexy and rich voice. So I think I have a sexy and rich voice. I just thought that was funny. So anyways, there's so much more to the Destiny cards than this, but this is just the description of what a 5 is in general, what a 5 of Clubs in particular, what a 5 of Clubs is in particular. And I just wanted to give you an example of how just with the cards, you can see yourself in the cards, you can see yourself validated in the cards. You can accept and acknowledge the truth about who you really are. And you have the information for which you could structure your life where it really works for you. And to me, there's no better gift that I was able to give myself, and for me to be able to give others. So I'm so excited about being able to offer you this information. The other additional thing with the Destiny cards is they have the most amazing love compatibility reading you can get, period. So you want to know what's the details behind your relationship, all of your different levels of compatibility, the strengths and weaknesses of your union, what your partner brings to the table as far as blessings and gifts, what you bring to the table as far as blessings and gifts, and the best way for you to interact to maintain your relationship, and actually how much compatibility, attraction, and intensity you have. It's here in the Destiny card. So if you want this information in your life so you can go and maximize your happiness and your joy, hit me up and I would love to give you a Destiny card reading. It gives me as much pleasure for you to know this information as it is for you to receive it. And I'll see you on the other side. Peace.